10 times Gary Vee predicted the future and proved his doubters wrong. Hey guys, welcome back to Financial Professional. Today we'll talk about 10 times Gary Vee predicted the future and proved his doubters wrong. Let's head into it. Number 10. Facebook would go mobile. Facebook was Gary Vee's bold prediction to go mobile. Gary's stance on Facebook was, let's talk about Facebook, prediction mobile, where I see the vulnerability or opportunity of Facebook is in mobile phones. It's crazy to think this, but not many people used Facebook or Twitter mobile at the time. This was when iPhones were relatively new. They were back in the early days of their birth in 2006, and people just didn't look at that way. Well, Gary Vee said that he could either see a big opportunity or a big misfortune from buying and developing app software for the Facebook group. It was also interesting when they bought Koala. If you don't know the site, they were a similar search engine that went through a little blooming stage in 2012 to 2013 and ended up making a splash. If you don't hear about it anymore, it's because the site is rarely used by users now, because it's kind of similar to Bing and Yahoo. Still, predicting it would go mobile was a very bold prediction, and then not many people saw it back then. Number 9. Twitter will go initially public offering, IPO. Gary predicted that Twitter would go IPO, so basically in 2012, Twitter wasn't as big as it is now. As you all know, everyone is using the four main apps, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat, which we'll be going through very soon. He was right about Instagram too, but when he predicted that IPO would go, he was very in tune with the future, so much so that it's hard to believe that he's not a future fortune teller. I am predicting the year 2012. Twitter will go IPO. Now I know we just heard the news and $300 million investment, so that scared me a little bit about this investment. But a year is a long time in the tech world, and I just have a feeling that after Facebook goes, Twitter's just gonna kind of look at that, there's enough hype, and I think the economy's gonna lift just enough, and they're gonna go out and roll out Twitter IPO 2012. These were the words of Gary Vee when he made his prediction. Number 8. Voice prediction. Similarly, in 2008, he felt that social media was the way he thinks now about his voice. We're in the foreground of a complete consumer voice revolution, and the people who know how to best build the preparations, the best skills, the best combinations, the most unique content, and the best foundation that encompasses how people will associate with noise to create distinct actions, new practices, and new information will win. Number 7. Blackberry prediction. You guys remember those little Blackberry phones that your parents probably used to have, or any rich people who were business owners and would probably use it with a headpiece. The reason it appealed to so many people is that it had a keyboard and touchscreen pad that you could use to send quick business emails, and it also covered a wide variety of LTE networks across different types of phone plans. Well, Gary Vee predicted that Blackberry would go broke, and it was the easiest prediction to make because of how fast iPhones and Android were growing and making their phones a lot more user-friendly than Blackberry. Number 6. Sales will go down. Do you understand how many people are buying wine at a slowdown? Fewer people out there. Do you know how many people are buying water filtration systems? Fewer people out there. Do you know how many people are buying their homes? A lot less people out there. It's just a matter of fact. In the previous slowdown, the wine library had to deal with return requests from people who had bought a lot of wine even though they had already used that money in other areas of the business. You've got to hold your belly to get through the mysterious business moments, and a lot of businesses people just don't. And that's exactly what Gary Vee had predicted. Number 5. Snapchat will rise. In 2014, he predicted that Snapchat will have a number 1, number 2, or number 3 spot in the world's most popular apps by 2016. Snapchat released a feature called Stories back in 2013. Just after that, I was at Le Web, where I shattered the entire feature in front of a live audience. My opinion was mainly based on my concern about how to get me to move away from the main screen in order to access people's stories. I didn't like the experience of the user. It was high friction, I thought, and it was a lot to ask the users. On top of that, I really liked the one-to-one nature of the app, and so the move to add a one-to-many feature really felt like a half-baked idea, especially since it was hidden on another screen. Fast forward to the moment. For months, I've been watching how popular and powerful Snapchat stories have become, and just recently, Snapchat itself came out with some data on how successful the feature really is, he said on his Twitter account. Number 4. Look at his 20-year career. You will realize that most of this has been guessing and predicting where the market is still going. There was no data on what e-commerce would do when it started its online wine retail business in 1996. There was no data on email marketing when he was one of the first 100 people to use it. There was no data on what Instagram was going to bring us to the benefit of when his brother and VaynerMedia co-founder AJ sold brisk iced tea in Instagram campaigns. Data still plays a role, of course. He makes these predictions, but in order to keep the drive going, you need to pay attention to the data. The management of a business takes estimates, proof of reliable estimates. Number 3. When Vine popped. He looked at the stuff people were doing with the platform and he started working with it. He even told his company to stop working on downloading the app and learn how to use it. He wanted everyone to know as much about it as they could because his gut told him it was going to be hot. What he's doing and investing things he knows will succeed in the marketplace, but they haven't hit their tipping point yet, and most of the time he was right. Number 2. Facebook will merge with Instagram. This one is merging with Facebook as Instagram's own Facebook. They made a huge purchase on it in 2012 and it paid off. Gary made a prediction when he said, I think there's an app out there that I really cause a lot of noise. And I'm going to make a big prediction about this one. I'm predicting that Facebook will acquire Instagram. 15 million Instagram users are likely to push 30 next year. Well, this was a smart move on Facebook. They've acquired 30% of net growth over the years. It paid off in the long run, and again, Mr. Gary Vee hit the bullseye. Number 1, economic recession. The next economic recession, nobody understands a certain day, but I can tell you that this is inevitable. The market is going to crash. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next year, but we're not going down on a bullish market for the rest of our days. I don't know how long the market can be artificially maintained, but at some point it's going to crash, and it's going to crash a lot. These were the exact words of Gary Vee, and now we are facing the biggest economic recession in a long time due to COVID. What do you think about Gary Vee? What do you think about his predictions? Let us know in the comment section down below. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.